is Tenzi Nickel. I will be doing my project on Taiwan. Taiwan is a rising nation. Their business owners often work with American partners. If you plan on going into the field of business, they might end up working with you someday. I've lived in Taiwan for many years. I grew up there until I was 8 years old when I moved into this country. My father, who works for Boeing, used to work in Taiwan for several years. I am very familiar with the country. Today, I will be introducing you to many customs and practices in Taiwan to help you in case you ever end up working there or working with a Taiwanese person. So, let's start with a brief background on their history. In the 1500s, it is commonly believed that European sailors passing Taiwan record the island's name as Ilha Formosa. Taiwan continues to experience visits by small numbers of Chinese merchants, fishermen, and pirates. Then in the 1624, the Dutch East Indian Company established a base in southwestern Taiwan, initiating a transformation in Aboriginal grain production practices, employing Chinese laborers to work on its rice and sugar plantations. In 1662, fleeing the Manchurian conquest of the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644, Ming loyalists under Zhen Qinggong or Zhou Jingya drive out the Dutch from Taiwan and establish authority over the island. It wasn't until 1912 that Taiwan gained independence. So, Taiwan is located in the Western Pacific, approximately 100 miles off the southeastern coast of China and north of Philippines. The island is bordered by the East China Sea, the Philippine Sea, and the South China Sea and Taiwan Strait. It has a total area of 14,400 square miles, which is slightly smaller than the state of Maryland and Delaware combined. 2/3 of the island is covered with mountains. The Jade Mountain, Yushan, is this island's tallest peak, which measures 12,966 feet above sea level. The capital of Taiwan is its largest city, Taipei, which literally means north of Taiwan. It is the center of all political, commercial, and cultural activity on the island. According to the U.S. Department of State, Bureau of Consular Affairs, a U.S. citizen traveling to Taiwan should exercise normal precaution. As of March 8, 2019, the exchange rate of $1 equals to 30.9 Taiwan dollar. The official language of Taiwan is Mandarin Chinese, which is used in government, education, and the media. There's also a variety of dialects of Chinese, the Fujian dialect, and a dialect known as Hakka, which is used. Many Taiwanese who live or near major cities speak Mandarin and Taiwanese. Those who live in rural areas mainly speak Taiwanese. Younger generations of Taiwanese people often speak American-style English since it's become a compulsory component of the education curriculum. There are some basic language phrases such as thank you, 谢谢, hello, 你好, and among others. A translator is not usually necessary, especially since many of the businesses and younger generations are able to speak English. While the Taiwanese people doesn't like to associate themselves with China, they have many similar things to the Chinese people. One of those things include being a collectivist society. Such a society fosters strong relationships where everybody takes responsibility for fellow members of their group. In a collectivist society, offenses lead to shame and loss of face. Employer/employee relationships are perceived in moral terms, like a family link. Hiring and promotion take account of employees' in-group. Management is the management of people. The Taiwanese communication style is indirect. They use ambiguous speech and understatement to convey their message and would avoid questions that require a solid yes or no response when dealing with a negative subject that might cause offense. The Taiwanese are quite deliberate and contemplative regarding how they communicate. They often take care to avoid communicating anything directly that may offend or hurt someone. People behave somewhat more formally in Taiwan. They rarely demonstrate emotion towards others through physical contact. Actions such as hugging typically done in private. However, it is common for friends of the same gender to hold hands or clasp each other by the wrists or shoulders among younger people. Lightly touching someone on their arm when speaking is a signal of closeness to the person. There are variation hand gestures that are used as an alternative direct verbal communication. Pay attention to their subtleties during conversation. For example, the typical way to indicate no through a gesture is to face the palm outward in front of the face and move it back and forth. Embarrassment may be expressed by covering one's face in their hands. The polite way to point is to use an open hand rather than a finger. Pointing with a single finger is considered to reflect hostility or accusation. Smiling can have a different meaning depending on the situation. A smile can indicate embarrassment or nervousness. It can also be a response to an inconvenient request or sensitive topic. Smiling is also often used to indicate an apology. Punctuality is expected, and Taiwanese value their meeting of deadlines by the set time. However, completing the meeting to a satisfactory standard is considered more important than keeping time. In turn, a meeting may continue until the discussion is complete, regardless of whether it extends well past the scheduled end time. Power distance is presented in Taiwan. It is a hierarchical society, meaning people accept hierarchy in order, which everybody has a place, which needs no further justification. Business cards are generally exchanged after initial introductions. Use both hands to receive business cards, with typeface facing the recipient. To demonstrate respect, take the time to examine the business card before putting it away. It is typical believed that one handles another business card is indicative of the value placed on the relationship. Avoid writing on someone's card whilst in their presence. In meetings, there is a tendency to be introduced by a third person, typically the host. If you are a guest, wait for this third-party introduction. Meeting schedules are not rigid, structured in Taiwan typically. The Taiwanese have a very calm, considerate approach to business. They gently press their ideas forward and patiently wait for others to respond. If they disagree with an idea, they may remain silent as a way to avoid conflict. When dressing for a business dinner or meeting, one would dress similarly to how they would go to a business dinner/meeting in the United States. For a man, it would be a button-up shirt and a tie with slacks. For a woman, it would be either a nice skirt and blouse or a pantsuit. Taiwan is a frequent business partner of the United States. They also have their own culture, language, and communication style. It is important to understand all of these before conducting business with Taiwanese people. International business is growing every day. Learning the custom of our business partners is crucial. If we don't, we'll make a fool of ourselves. If you have any questions, please contact me or leave a comment on the video presentation. My email is tinichol@students.everettcc.edu. Thank you very much.